Oh, hey, beautiful people. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of those people that have watched my video in the last 24 hours. Holy cow. So it was, when I looked at it this morning, it was about 430, and I was like, wow, I'm chuffed. 430, I'm so happy with that. And then I took my daughter to tennis. She plays tennis and cricket. Well, we both do. Actually, I started playing as well. She plays tennis and cricket in the mornings, and for a sports day with the homeschool stuff that we do. And then I came home and I had a look, and it's 730 views. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I'm so excited. I know it doesn't seem like much to some people that have these massive, huge channels, but someone like me who does not like being seen and who has hidden away from the world for a long time. I actually started a show about 15 years ago when doing this sort of stuff was not a thing. I was doing this sort of stuff, but I got punished so much from people who were in my environment because this was not the kind of thing people did 15 years ago. You did not get on YouTube and share your personal intimate information 15 years ago. Back then it was just people talking about, I don't know, random stuff, or Facebook posts were all about the food that you were eating. It wasn't about trauma. It wasn't. And so when I started sharing what I was going through in life, and when I started connecting more to myself, and when I started connecting more to guides and angels and all this is the sort of stuff I did back then, I got hammered. I got slammed by some really influential people in Australia who I valued their opinion and I believed them. And so I shut everything down. I had my own TV show where I was talking to different people, kind of like what I did last year where I spoke to different people, like the same sort of thing, but 15 years ago. So here I am now doing it again because the idea never left me. I knew that it was something that I wanted to do, and I knew that it was part of my journey. And here I am doing it again 15 years later. So there you go. I don't know why I shared that. That just blurbed out of my brain. And if you can hear, because I know this microphone's really sensitive, and I'm sorry about the echo. I am trying to fix it in this room. But if you can hear tearing, there's a cow outside my window who is not usually there. And she is tearing the grass out. She's actually in the paddock, just, yeah, I can see her. I'm sitting here on the floor and I can see her. She's right there. So you could probably hear this. It's her tearing grass out. But the reason I wanted to jump on and do this video, apart from saying thank you to everyone who has watched my other videos and all the beautiful people and all your amazing comments, thank you so much. I had 2 people block me yesterday, actually, for being me. I wasn't mean, I wasn't rude, I wasn't horrible. I was just sharing information and also setting a boundary. I had to set a boundary with somebody and they didn't like it, so they blocked me. And then the other one was, there was a girl who was being really hypocritical in her comments, and me being me, I said something and she didn't like it. I pointed out the hypocrisy in her comment. She didn't like it very much. So all of these beautiful people who have shared all these really nice thoughts and opinions about what I shared, I really do appreciate it. You made my day, you guys. I mean, there weren't that many. I think there were 6 or 7 of you, but I tell you what, you made my day. You just lit up the world for me. So thank you. It means so much. And I don't even know if you can understand. Maybe if you do, if you're watching this video and you go through trauma and you have someone say something nice about something that you've done, it's like, holy shit, what do you mean I did something right? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm an amazing person? I don't get it, but okay. And I'm just, yeah, it's something that I just really needed to hear yesterday, because I had a minute yesterday where I did think, I shouldn't be doing this. I should not be doing these videos. I should not be doing the coaching. Because if you haven't seen any of my videos and you're new to my channel, I also have coaching this year, so this year 2024 is all about figuring out who am I underneath all the masks and all the trauma and all the patterns and stories and sabotages and everything. Who am I at my core? Like the good part, not that I know who I am, the bad part. I know the zero value, I know the zero worth, I know all the trauma, I know all of that, but who am I underneath all of that? Who was I before I went through hell? Who was I before I was rejected and abandoned and neglected by my family? Who am I when I'm not having this brain that is constantly just going at me? Who am I underneath all of that? And to find that out, I decided to do one call a week. Hasn't kind of worked out that way. I had one last week and then I didn't have one this week, but I've got one this weekend. And having these beautiful coaches coming on and coaching me and sharing their wisdom with me and with you, if you're watching this, sharing their wisdom and sharing the information that they have, because there are so many people out there. And what I really get from last year, because last year I was really in the mud. I was in last year was dark. It was dark. It was horrible. I was still grieving my mum passing away. I was still grieving the loss of my sibling, because when my mum passed away, that basically ended the chance of me ever seeing them again, ever building a relationship with them again. So I kind of had to go through grieving that. Then also grieving the fact that I'm not a daughter anymore, and grieving the loss of my mum for my daughter as well, because she also really struggled. She was 3 when my mum passed away, and she really struggled not having her nanny around. So I grieved that as well. And it took me a long time. It took me 5 years, just over 5 years, to unravel the layers of grief that I had around my mum and to come here. And my brain's just, oh my God. If you're watching this, you're going to understand. I was just on this really nice flow, and then all of a sudden my brain's just going, what was that? And it just got nothing. I think it's because it heard, we have guinea fowl, and I think it's because it heard guinea fowl. And I know that the other day in one of my videos, our guinea was going rat, 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 the whole time, and I didn't say anything. And I thought, man, if I didn't know that was a guinea fowl, I would wonder what that is. And I think that's why my brain just stopped, because it wanted me to say, we have guinea fowl, and that is what that rat, 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 rat sound is. Yeah, so I wanted to read this thing that I wrote down the other day about understanding the limbic system and the cortex. And I'm going to put my glasses on because otherwise I can't see. So basically I wrote, the limbic brain program is I don't have value. What's meant to happen is that the cortex jumps in and says, no, you do have value. Even though I don't feel like I have value, I do have value. But this is what I understand, and I could be completely wrong, but this is what I understand about me, is that my limbic system jumps in and goes, you have no value. And then my cortex goes, crickets. Like it doesn't jump in and say, no, that's not true. You've got value. It doesn't do anything. It's just not there. It really isn't. And that's what I really got from the videos that I watched from Tim Fletcher, is that, and if you don't know who Tim Fletcher is, look up Tim Fletcher Understanding Complex Trauma, and there's a playlist, and it's amazing. He has really helped me understand how my brain is functioning right now. And basically your cortex does not jump in defense of your limbic brain. There is no jumping in and saying, hang on a minute, you've got value, so you here, I don't have value. And then it's like, okay, I don't have value. Okay, great. But what he did share was the way through, and this is what I'm trying to put together tools to help me get through this and work out what tools do I want to take on board. So the video I did yesterday was sharing bringing myself into safety. in this moment right now, I am completely safe from harm. And it's taken me a lot to get to that statement. I just want to share that as well, because I started that statement 3 years ago when I was having panic attacks all the time, and I was waking up in the middle of the night with panic attacks. And it got to the point where I was calling the ambulance and then cancelling the ambulance because 5 or 10 minutes later, the ambulance hasn't come and I'm not dead. So therefore I'm not dying of a heart attack. And that happened more than once. And I think it was just, I heard that I don't feel safe in the world. I need to figure out how to feel safe. So the way I got to the ability to say that was that I went outside and I sat on my driveway and I put my hands on the ground and I basically did in this moment right now statements. So in this moment right now, I can feel my hands on the ground, and my hands were on the ground. And I go, yeah. And in this moment right now, I could see the blue sky, but I had to be looking at the blue sky. So whatever I said, it had to be an absolute. It had to be an absolute. It had to be a yes in my system. Because if I got, sorry if you can hear that, my daughter was just in the bathroom. If I got a no, then it would reinforce the lie, and all the lies that anyone had ever told me over the years, and all the lies that I had told myself to keep myself where I am. Because to keep yourself in a small box, you have to lie to yourself. You cannot be honest, because if you were honest, you would not be where you are. And so if I lied during these statements, it would reinforce the fact that I am not trustworthy, that I cannot trust myself, that what I say cannot be trusted. And I was trying to build up trust. I also had to, that was the other thing I also had to do, was build up that trust within myself that what I said was true. Because for years, I've had to lie to myself to keep myself small. So I had completely lost trust and faith in so many different parts of myself that if I said I was going to do something, I usually would not do it because I didn't have the trust. And also with my limbic system the way it is, and going based on how I feel and this instant gratification and the way my brain works, I wouldn't follow through with anything either. I would start things, but I would not finish them. Or I would create something, or I'd have an idea, but I would then never follow through with the actual idea. The idea was amazing, but I wouldn't follow through with it. And so I had to create this trust in myself. But to do that, I had to be honest. And to do that, this is how I did it. I used this in this moment right now statements, and I always made sure they were honest. So if I had my hand on my knee, I would be looking at my hand on my knee, and I would say, in this moment right now, I can feel my hand on my knee. And then I would wait for that confirmation inside of me. I can. And then I'd take a breath, and then I'd move on to the next statement. So each time I did this statement, I would wait for the confirmation. It's true. I would take a breath, and I would feel. So I would take the breath and I would feel what it felt like to say something that was true to myself. It was almost like validating my ability to be honest with myself, validating my ability to be true, validating my ability to actually say something that is real for me in that moment. And it took me a long time. It wasn't a 5-minute thing. I didn't do it for 5 minutes and then magic fairy dust fell on my head and my panic attack stopped. I did this a lot throughout the day. And this is what I really understand, and I really want to be clear in my videos, because I don't want people to watch these videos and then see the changes and then go, oh my God, it took up 5 minutes and that was it. I am at the moment trying to regulate myself constantly stopping to breathe, constantly tuning in, like maybe every, I don't know, 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, tuning in. Where am I? Am I gone? Am I back? Where am I? Taking a breath if I need to. Usually I do. Sometimes I get distracted and I don't. So sometimes I can go for hours and forget. But then when I go for hours and I forget, I go too far. And it's like, shit. Then the stopping is bigger. I came up with an amazing analogy for myself yesterday, which was, I walk into a train platform, and the train platform is the start of me getting ready to jump on the train and have it take me down the rabbit hole and end up in Hell's Kitchen somewhere. Basically, all the steps along the way. Okay, so I'm packing my bag. That might be a thought. I'm getting in the car to drive to the train station. That might be a feeling. I get to the train station. I unload my bag. Well, that might be another thought and another feeling. Something's been triggered, but I'm still ignoring it, or I'm still not paying attention to it. So then I'm walking up the platform. Okay, well, now I'm getting bigger feelings, more triggers, or I'm starting to think things. I'm starting to get images in my head, or my head's starting to go a bit nutty, but I'm still not paying attention because I'm distracting myself in some way. I'm doing something else, or I'm just trying to keep pushing down. It's okay, it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. We'll be right, she'll be right, don't worry about it. It'll be fine, it'll go away. And if I'm doing any of that, then I go and buy the ticket, and then I walk to the platform, and then I stand at the platform and I'm waiting for the train. And usually if I'm waiting for the train, it's the trigger or the feelings and the thoughts, they're not necessarily really loud. And bear in mind, all of this happens within like 2 minutes. It doesn't take long for me to go from 0 to 100. It's like minutes. I'm not saying that this happens over the course of an hour, and I get triggered, and then very, very slowly I'm moving along, and the thoughts and the feelings get worse. It's like, no, I can get triggered, and within a couple of minutes, I'm standing on the platform. I've packed my bag, I've left home, I've driven to the train station. Now I'm standing on the platform waiting for the train to just take me down the road into hell. And if I don't pay attention, if I don't notice that I've been triggered, or if I don't notice that I'm dysregulated and I'm packing my bag, then it doesn't take long for me to go from packing my bag to standing on the platform. And then once I stand on the platform and the train comes and I get on the train, that's it, I'm gone. I'm gone. And that sequence can happen in minutes. And I had something, I get really violent flashes in my mind about pretty brutal images of horrible things. And it happened twice yesterday. And I think it was and I haven't had them for quite a while. But it happens when someone does something that throws me off, like it hurts me. So those 2 people have blocked me. It's like, what? I didn't even do anything, but okay. But it threw me enough, and I didn't walk away and then go and deal with the part of me that was hurt. I was doing something else. I was distracted. I wanted to finish what I was doing. But in that time frame, I have packed my bag, I've gotten in the car, I've driven to the train station, I've bought my ticket, I've got on the platform, I've got on the train, and off I go. And then I'm like, shit, now I've gone too far. And now I have to bring myself all the way back into regulation again. I have to bring all of myself back. And it takes a minute. It takes a minute, and sometimes it's harder for me to come back. And really, I want to be really honest, even though I've been trying to do this regulating work for years, I haven't really understood it until now. Like the last 5 days, 4 or 5 days have been life-changing for me. I haven't really understood how, like that train analogy I only came up with yesterday, and how quickly it takes for me to get from home onto the train. It's minutes. And I didn't really realize that. I didn't realize how fast I can go into dysregulation and take off. And then it takes more than a few minutes for me to come back. And if I don't come back all the way, if I haven't regulated myself, if I have an unresolved emotion that's sitting inside of me, and I guess that's a better way to put it, my brain's kind of going, what do you mean? What do you mean? Come back from where? Come back from what? What are you talking about? So my brain is just having a tantrum because I'm not explaining it enough for it to understand. So if I have an emotional reaction to something, and then I bring myself back, meaning that I've done some breath work and I'm feeling a little bit calmer, but I haven't actually looked at the feeling. I haven't looked at what happened. I haven't connected with that part inside of me that's hurt. I haven't gone through some kind of process to acknowledge that part inside of me, and that part stays active, then it will, in the background, just hum, and it will hum until it gets back on the train again and buggers off down the mountain. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. It kind of makes sense in my brain. But my feelings and my thoughts really wipe me sideways. And it doesn't take long for me to go into a dark place. And then I have to try and bring myself out of that dark place in whatever way I can. And one of them is the safety, being safe, and then building that trust. And then, okay, so now I'm back to my piece of paper. So the thing that I got from Tim, which I've done before, but I hadn't, like I said, the last 4 to 5 days, something has really, really anchored in my being about this. And I have done something like this before, years and years and years ago, when I was homeless and I was living in a tent. I wanted to get out of the tent because it wasn't fun. I was living in a tent for about 6 months, and I heard to take every action I hear to take, regardless of how I feel. And so I did. I took every action I heard to take, regardless of how I feel. And somehow, in the span of about 7 days, I made enough money to go and buy a car and a caravan, which means I could move out of my tent and go into a car and a caravan. Not, let's just be clear, it wasn't a fancy car. The car was, I think the car cost me $1,500, and the caravan was about $3,500 or $4,500. So we're talking a shitty car and a shitty caravan. We're not talking a fancy $78,000 Land Rover. I just want to bring people's opinions down to a healthy level. But what Tim said the other day on the video was to treat myself as I have value. Sorry, that if you can hear that, that is my foot rubbing on the ground, in case you heard that noise and thought it was something else. Treat myself as if I have value, even though I don't feel that way, and push through the feelings. So when I read that, it was like, oh, when I heard that, I just went, oh my God, that is what I did. I took the action regardless of how I felt. And that's exactly what he's saying, is the limbic system, when it's programmed into feeling bad, and when your cortex hasn't come online, and so all you do is feel bad about yourself, and then all the actions you take are based on how you feel, then all of a sudden you have a crappy, shitty life that you don't like, because every action you're taking is based on how you feel, but you're programmed to feel bad, because if you went through deep, intense trauma, childhood trauma, and you have complex trauma, then your upbringing, if you're like me, was punished for being good, punished for being loud. I was somewhere today, and this parent was with their 2 kids, and their kids were talking really loud, and so they kept going shh, 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 and it triggered something inside of me, and because I didn't react in a bad way, but I said, oh, I love being loud. It's like the best thing ever. Who wants an inside voice? Let's have a loud outside voice. And that's how I raise my daughter now. But I was raised with that shh, 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 shh. And if you are raised, it's those tiny little things where, okay, I can't be loud, so I'm going to squash myself. But you're being loud and having fun. You're laughing, you're running, you're having a great time, and you get punished. So when that happens often enough, you start to think, every time I do something good, I'm going to get punished. Every time I have fun, I'm going to get punished. Every time I'm laughing, I'm going to get punished. Every time I'm loud, I'm going to get punished. So all of a sudden, I'm going to stop having fun. I'm going to stop being loud. I'm going to stop laughing. I'm going to stop enjoying my life. And I'm just going to switch off all of that happy stuff. And another thing that Tim shares is that those happy hormones, they don't switch on, because your adrenals and your my brain, your cortisol. I was looking for the other C word other than cortex. So you have these hormones that are constantly firing, but then you've got all these other beautiful happy hormones that are meant to, over time, develop. You're meant to get these beautiful hits and of hormones that make you feel good, and you feel happy, and you feel joy, and you feel motivated. And when you've gone through complex trauma, those hormones just don't fire, because when they fire in the past, you go, nah. And then you have a happy hormone, nah. And then you have a happy hormone, nah. And then all of a sudden you become someone that's just constantly got this voice in their head that goes, nah, nah, no, no, no. And that, fuck, it doesn't stop. Like, really, it doesn't stop. If you're gifted with my trauma, it doesn't stop. And so when, let's say I go to play with my daughter, what I get inside of me is, no, go do something else. What you're doing is, it's fun. What are you doing? You can't have fun. You can't play. You can't laugh. You can't have a good time. Stop that. Stop doing that. You need to go and sit back down and work. Go and sit and work, or go and clean, or go and do something else that is mundane and boring and ordinary that you don't like to do, because that is where you get praise. I used to get praise if I cleaned my room, but I didn't like cleaning my room. I used to get praise for mowing the lawn and washing the dishes or cleaning the car, but I didn't want to do any of it. But that's where I got my praise from. I didn't get praise for running around and playing and being loud and making a mess. I got punished for that. So all of a sudden, as an adult, I do the things I don't want to do, which is weird because the limbic system is all about don't do that. You don't want to do the things you don't want to do. But here's the contradiction in all of that. And I'm just hearing this, so give me a minute while I unravel this in my brain. So you don't want to do the things that you don't want to do, and you only want to do the things that you do want to do. But what you want to do is you want to get, for me, what I want to do is I want to get praise. I want to get acceptance. I want to get love. I want to get validation. And the way I do that is to do things that I don't want to do, like mowing the lawn, washing the dishes, cleaning the house. It's so confusing. I can hear the contradiction in my brain, and I'm like, what? How did I end up in this place where I'm doing things that I don't want to do, but I don't want to do things that I don't want to do, but I am doing things that I don't want to do, but I get praised for doing certain things? Maybe it's because I get praised for doing certain things that I didn't want to do. So those things are okay. Those things, it's almost like, okay, it's almost like those things are in my safe space. Those things are in my safe house of things that I don't want to do because I got so much praise and validation for doing them. So there's an offset to that I'm actually getting something that I want for doing those things that I don't want to do. I can feel there's an energy, there's something. Feel free to comment if you have any ideas about this, because I am open to ideas. I am open to unraveling this very confusing part of my brain right now. If you have an idea, chuck it in the comments. I want to hear it. Because now I can hear, now I get why I walk around in circles and I really struggle to make a decision, because I don't want to do things I don't want to do, but I got praised for doing things I don't want to do, but I only got praised for doing certain things that I didn't want to do, and I got punished for doing the things that I did want to do. So I sit in a place where I don't want to take action, and I really only take action when I absolutely have to. I really only wash the dishes when I absolutely have to. I only mow the lawn when I absolutely have to. I only eat food when I absolutely have to. It's really based on a purely survival instinct of, I'm only doing it because I absolutely have to, because there's no one else here doing it and I can't afford to pay someone else to do it. And I think if I was in a position, if I could pay someone else to do it, or if there was someone else here that could do it, I would not do it. So I'm only doing it because it's purely based on survival, but I actually don't want to do it, but I have to do it. And I guess in some way, as I'm listening to this, and I'm just following I'm following the story and the energy inside of me going, okay, so then I'm doing this because if I don't do it, I'll die. And I don't want to do that. So if I don't wash the dishes, then we're going to be eating off dirty dishes. If I don't cook food, then I'm literally going to starve. If I don't mow the lawn, then we're probably going to end up with snakes in the backyard. So all of these things that I'm doing that I actually don't want to do, that I did get praise for when I was younger, so there's a buffer there for me. I am only doing them because it's based on pure survival. But there are so many other things that I don't want to do that I could be doing or I should be doing that will probably make my life a lot easier that I'm not doing, because I don't want to do things I don't want to do. And I don't know what I actually do want to do. So I don't do anything. Oh my God, no wonder I'm a fucking mess. Who could keep up with that? Jesus. Oh my God. Oh, it's just that realization that I had someone say to me once that I was a conundrum wrapped in a riddle, and I really feel like that's exactly what I am right now. I feel like a pretzel on the inside that I've just wrapped myself up so much into this tiny little pretzel that I can't even see. I've got so many contradictions. Maybe that's why that woman triggered me so much. One that was hypocritical, because there is such a hypocritical, contradicting part inside of me that is just really confused. And I'm doing things that I'm not supposed to do, and I'm not doing things that I am supposed to do, and I don't know what I want to do, and I don't want to do those things, but I'm doing those things to keep myself alive, because if I don't do things, I'm going to die. And then here I am with a complete and utter inability to make a decision. Okay, great. My God. And I say complete and utter inability to make a decision because I've been trying to make a decision for the last, I don't know, month, whether to buy a new phone or whether to buy an iPad. And because my phone has just crapped itself, so I'm using my daughter more. She doesn't have a phone, but she watches stuff on her phone. And so I put my SIM card in that phone because that's my old phone. And so we're sharing that at the moment, and I can't decide. Do I buy her a tablet so I can take that phone back, or do I get myself a new phone and leave her with that phone? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to make a decision. What if I make the wrong decision? What if I get the phone and it breaks down? What if I get the tablet and it breaks down? What if I get them, but they're not actually what we want? What if they don't work? What if? And then I wrap myself up in a riddle and I can't make a decision. I feel so dysregulated. All right. I bring myself into regulation again while we're here, because I may as well do it with you. And then I'll jump off. Okay. Oh, God. I don't know if you could keep up with any of that, but far out, man. It feels like a conundrum wrapped in a riddle thrown on a roller coaster that's large as a train that's just filled with shit. That's what my insides feel right now. And I can hear the cow. She's right there again. She walked away, but she's just come back. Okay. Oh, welcome to my brain. I don't even know where to start to regulate myself right now. It's really thrown me. That this feeling of the indecision and the confusion and the conundrums and the contradictions and the hypocrisy that is just all running around in my body. And I'm looking at it going, how do I unwrap the pretzel? How do I get myself into a straight line? Because I'm just so wrapped up. I don't know how to get myself into a straight line. Like I don't know how to unwrap myself. So when I don't know how to unwrap myself, what I'm hearing is just sit with it, sit with the riddle, sit with the wrapping, sit with the conundrum, sit with the contradictions, sit with the hypocrisy, sit with it, sit with the feeling, sit with it. And let it let it, I don't know, just let it. I don't know the end of the sentence. Just let it. It's not let it unravel, let it be, let it do its thing. It's just let it. Because I don't know what that thing is. I would be guessing. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit with this feeling. And I'm going to allow the images and the voices and the statements and the stories and the patterns and the memories from the past come up, and look at them each time they come up and see what happens, because I don't know where this is going to take me. But I know it feels intense. I feel like this is my channel. My channels is going to be me sharing how I feel and then going, it's intense. But I will say one thing. I do want to say one thing. I do want to say something. Even though it's shit, and even though it's hard, and even though it sucks ass, and even though you have no one around you and there's no support and you feel like you have zero value and you feel like life is just fucked, you have to find the humor in it, because otherwise you'll go insane. You'll go insane. You have to find the humor in the fact that you made the decision to come to this planet and have this experience for whatever reason, and it sucks ass. And it's really hard. And I have to laugh. I have to laugh at myself and just laugh at the craziness that is inside my physical body, and then laugh at the energy and laugh at the insanity that is inside of me, because otherwise I will just dive down into the abyss. And that's where I was last year. I found it really hard to laugh at the insanity that was my life, because it is insane in this physical body. It's crazy what goes on in here. So yeah, just laugh a little at how you've responded to life, how it has responded to you. Take a minute to laugh and go, yeah, man, this is shit. Okay, this is the game we're playing today. Okay, let's do it. Yeah. Anyway, I can keep talking, but I won't. Thank you. I just had this, I stopped because I had this minute and this voice in my head that just said, I just feel so much love for all of you guys that are watching this, and I don't know who you are, I don't know where you're from, I have no idea where in the world you are, but even if only one person watches this, it is a gift. It's a gift to me. And if no one watches it, then I don't know. I don't know what it is if no one watches it. It's just me prattling on and being insane. That's okay too. Anyway, thank you.